got 25 minutes. We got to go.
Hey!
Hey, happy hump day, guys.
It's another Wednesday. We're super excited to have you on. Welcome to Say That channel, everyone. If this is your first time on Say That channel, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat. We want to see that. If you've been with us in the past, go ahead and put a smiley face. We want some smiley faces. And for those of you that are with us for the first time, welcome to Say That channel, where we are unapologetic about talking about the ugly come up of entrepreneurship. So we all know those stories of people who started from like nothing and then have massive success. But what happens in the middle? What happens during the ugly come up? Well, that is what we're here to talk about. We are all about uncovering what the pitfalls are that we need to circumvent, what's the mindset we need to have. And we love hearing from you guys. Love hearing from other entrepreneurs and what your take is on what's been going on in your world and your journey. And we always have a topic of the day. We answer the topic of the day, but we've only got 25 minutes to answer the question. And then we have to go to overtime if we run out of time. So today is going to be one of those days. I'm super excited for today. What is today's topic, Winston?
Yeah, let's jump into it, guys. Today's topic is...
Can networking really help my business?
This almost seems like common sense, right? But no, not really.
But I mean, right, common sense isn't common.
Really.
I love this question. I'm really excited to get into it and to hear what our guest has to say. So today is not going to be just me and Winston. We have an amazing guest with us. Not only is she an entrepreneur, a real business lady, real good networker, but she is a mother, a wife. And honestly, one of the best things I love about her is her giving heart. She loves to give and help people. It's one of the most amazing things about her. Everybody, please help me welcome Cind Cowan.
Welcome to the show.
There she is.
Hi.
Welcome in, Cindy.
Thank you.
The Texas oil lady herself. So welcome to the show.
Thanks. I'm excited. I just, the little promo video was like, wow, that's cool.
We love treating our guests well. So tell everybody who is not already familiar with you and how you got into your entrepreneurship journey. How did you become the Texas oil lady? Tell us a little bit about that.
All right. So like a lot of people who are entrepreneurs, I was a customer first, using essential oils for my health journey. And before I knew it, I was sharing organically, not knowing I was kind of doing the business. And so after I realized how much I could help people with just, what am I doing? Why don't you try this? I flipped the switch and made it a business. And doing that, it took a couple of years to realize what I was doing. And the Texas oil lady was born. And it was fun because a lot of people that I've met around the world are like, Texas oil lady. Oh, I love that movie Dallas, or that show Dallas with J.R. Ewing. And, that's how they, associate Texas is with oil. And I'm like, it's a play on fun because the Y in lady is actually an oil drop. And a lot of times I'll do my introduction when I meet people. I'll say, I'm not talking about crude oil or avocado oil. I'm talking about essential oil. And they're like, oh, I love that. So it's fun.
That's awesome. All right. Well, we thought that you would be one of the best people to talk to us about, or to answer this question with us. Let's have your thoughts. Can networking really help my business?
Oh my gosh. So I was a late bloomer into getting into the essential oil business. So I was in a different situation where my kids were grown in college or graduated from college, starting their lives. So I didn't have those PTA meetings or football games anymore to go to. And I'm like, And then we moved to a different city. And so, I ended up finding people here in West Texas that I could, sort of network with at the Chamber of Commerce. And then from there, another networking group. And then the epidemic happened, a couple of years into that. And I'm like, okay, so how do we network? And so that's where I discovered Zoom and networking, to all over the United States. And I started meeting people and having face-to-faces, one-on-ones with these people from all over. And those that were interested, I sent them samples, what you got going on? How can I help you? And with that networking, and then after they got their samples, I would reach out to them via Zoom, and they're like, okay, I'm ready to buy. And I'm like, awesome. Like my first biggest customer was in Michigan. And then before I knew it, I had 2 customers in Alaska, and I'm in Texas. How awesome is that? And now I'm reaching out. This past year, I've been reaching out to people in Canada, and Australia is fun. They're fun people, and in the United Kingdom. So it's been amazing. I'm meeting people all over, and I'm getting, referrals, and hey, you need to talk to so and so because they're into this, so they're into that kind of situation.
So I'm curious, right? I love this. I love to hear your story around this and what like the outcome has been. Tell us a little bit about what does networking look like? Like what's the action steps? Like do you just go to your chamber of Congress and just like talk to people? Like what does the networking part look like?
So I don't do in-person networking. It's all virtual. It's all virtual. I belong to currently to the Conglomerate Global Connectors. And so that's virtual, local virtual, but there's no portal in West Texas. So I'm strictly, virtual, but I do visit other networking opportunities that I found on LinkedIn. That was fun, but that's how I've reached other people in other countries. And of course, it's all about making those connections with your common interest, whether it's your kids, grandkids, animals. You build those relationships and are like, oh, let's talk again. And then that leads to a second time, a third time. And, you can exchange business, directly, but a lot of it's business to business, or my mom could use that, or I have a dog with that situation, and those kinds of networking that's really helped me out. I can Zoom all week long, all day long. It's fun.
So sorry, Janelle. But so a question that came to mind for me is you mentioned we went into, I think you called it an epidemic instead of the pandemic, but
Sorry.
No. It is what it is, right? But something that came to mind for me is you mentioned that you do all virtual now. So what was it looking like when you mentioned you were organically sharing just your love of the product that you had before you were, I guess, doing it as a business? What were some of those conversations like?
Before?
Yeah.
Okay.
You said you were sharing it enthusiastically. You'd like the product a lot before,
Right. So we lived in Fort Worth at that time, and I had friends that I shared it with that we were, going to meetings and that kind of thing. We were gathering.
Oh, okay.
And then we moved to Lubbock, Texas, where I didn't know anybody. And, we moved here for a family member and didn't know anyone. And I just like, how do I do this? And we had bought a restaurant. With that, we had joined the Chamber of Commerce because it was the thing to do when you had a restaurant.
There we go. Okay.
And then from the restaurant, as a chamber member, then I met a person who had the other networking group that met at our restaurant. Then COVID hit, and it was all virtual. It's like everyone shut down, for the most part.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that happened. And then once I started Zooming with other locations in that networking group, I was like, I love this. It's just
doing it that way.
You're meeting people from all over. You're not stuck in one city, one neighborhood kind of situation. And, like I said, my kids were grown, so I didn't have that opportunity to go networking. I tried to do a little bit from some of the Facebook groups. But again, I was the new person in town. They didn't really know me, and it was more of a challenge. And I felt like, and I still feel like, the people that network and connect online, their mindset's different. they like, we love to talk. And what you got going on? You know, how's your business going? Who else do you talk to? Where else do you network? And it's just organically grown to where I visit Australia once a week to one of their, it's breakfast time there. It's afternoon for us the next day.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So it's fun.
Wow.
That's super cool. I love what you said too about like how it just seems like virtually people's mindsets are different. Like
Yes.
do you feel like it's this feeling of like, because we're virtual, we need to help each other more? Do you feel like that's what it is?
Yeah, I totally do. People, it seems like when we're meeting in person, this is me, I felt a little more awkward, you know, walking up to someone you don't know. But when you're put on, all the people are put into the Zoom room, you see everybody, you get to hear them introduce themselves, you know, hey, I'm so-and-so, and I live here. And, you know, I feel like you're more concentrated. And again, the mindset is, let's all get to know each other. And instead of like staying at your table and not walking around and meeting people. I was an extrovert, I feel like, when I was out in public. And when I'm on screen, I feel more introverted. I want to talk to everybody. What was that, Winston?
No. That's just interesting. You'd think normally it would be the opposite.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's
not me. I'm the opposite.
No.
I love that.
And I think no, I would keep going. Well, it's interesting because you mentioned you think the mindset of the people, and I think it's you who are, you know, clearly attracting or bringing. It's what you bring to it that I think that you're getting out of it. Because I've taken part in like Tony Robbins was doing these virtual trainings during the pandemic. Obviously, like you mentioned, people couldn't really be in person for a lot of these things. And what I found in some of those events, I actually got so much more out of than events that I would go to in person because of how things were set up virtually, that I don't think in person they could orchestrate it as easily. Whereas digitally, like you could throw people into certain rooms. You know, if you're in an arena with 2,000 people, getting a bunch of people to go to one section in the click of a button is completely different. You know what I mean? It's like an hour just to get everybody out for lunch. You get what I'm saying? But virtually, I think it allows for people to be comfortable in their home. So they are, you know, they kind of lower their guard, as opposed to when you go out, there's this like tenseness that we tend to have.
Yeah.
You know, so I completely agree with you. I find virtual. I remember when we transitioned into virtual with our business, because we used to do home events like you were prior accustomed to, and you know, you're inviting people out and you're trying to get somebody out after work on a Friday. It's this whole this thing. But when we transitioned into virtual, I remember at one point we did get way more people on an event because we could tap into other countries. I remember we had people getting on in Jamaica, where we were doing events for people in New York. So I definitely know what you're talking about in terms of just watching that culture that was built in a virtual environment.
Yeah, I tried to go back to having workshops at my home after, you know, and nobody would show up. I even had a friend bring wine, like, you know, it was Scout and Cellar wine and essential oils, and nobody showed up. So we sat there and drank a bottle. I mean,
we used to do wine down Wednesdays. Remember?
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, well, at least the wine didn't go to waste.
No.
I love that. So tell us a little bit about, because now I'm interested. Okay, so now we're talking about this virtual way of networking. So I love how like it seems like you're a part of organizations that help you like meet other people. Does that sum it up? Like you're within an organization where the goal is to help you meet other business owners or other people, et cetera. Okay, that is super helpful. Number one, as an entrepreneur, I'm constantly looking for ways to meet other people. So I love that this exists, right? So there's this entity, there are entities out there that literally the purpose is to meet other people. So I think that's number one, really cool. And then going back to what you and Winston were just talking about. So now you've met these other people, and then like, How do you do presentations? What are some of the things that you're telling?
What's that like?
How do you know when someone's a good person to send samples to? And also specifically, you mentioned it. So I'm going to be very selfish right now. I have a dog who I think might be starting the signs of an ear infection. And so I'm now already thinking, like, I wonder if there's some aromatherapy oils that I should be looking into. So I'm really curious, like, how does that work? How do you do presentations? What are the things that you're telling people that they should know about, or like certain oils, all of that?
Okay. So people. So when I talk to people, and it's usually after the second or third, call, virtual call, and they'll ask me, well, I've kind of got this going on. Do you have anything that could help? Because I was the same way. Right. And I'm like, actually, I do. And so they do fill out, I send them a questionnaire and they fill it out. And then I actually put the package together with samples and I mail it to them. And I'm like, okay, so this is coming your way. When you get it, let's do another Zoom call. And we do. And I'm like, okay, now smell this one. This is what this does. So I'm explaining to you via, Zoom, how each oil works, how to apply it, topically, aromatically, internally, the whole 9 yards. And so they try them, and then we can schedule another Zoom call, or we just like text or message, or phone call, whatever works for them. And then they'll usually say, I'm ready to order. And so then I send them a link to get their own, free account. So that's how it works with people. I niched further down and got an animal aromatherapy certification. I worked with a veterinarian out of Austin, Texas.
Oh,
She's
man.
also on the board of doTERRA on their education committee for animals, veterinarians. So there's a handful of veterinarians that are what they call holistic. And they have their regular practice, but they also incorporate natural solutions for, working with their animals. It can be a horse, a cow, a dog, a bird, a cat, you name it. They've been educated on how to use the essential oils with the pets.
Wow.
I have chosen to do virtual sessions, which is very doable, just like with humans. Is if someone wants me to look, talk to them about their cat or give them or dog or whatever the case, the animal may be, is I send them a questionnaire. It's like if you were to go to the vet or the doctor and you answer all the questions. What you got going on? Are they allergic? Are you allergic to anything? All those same questions. I get them. I review it. What are they? Do they have a rash? Do they have a bump? Is the sore not healing? That kind of thing. A lot of it's digestive issues. As with humans, It's digestive. What we put into our bodies does affect our organs and our skin. Our skin is obviously our largest organ.
Yeah.
And so I welcome them to send me pictures. If they want to do a video, they can send me a video. And then we do an online consultation, and I come up with a plan for them. And then I also offer 2 follow-up sessions to check on them. So when they get the essential oils, if they don't already have them, they can purchase them and then take care of their pet and then see how that's going on. So essential oils are, a lot of them have similar components for healing,
Okay.
Some, a bottle of lavender may work well for me, but it may not work well for you or your animal. You never know, right? And so there's other alternatives like cedarwood that you can use for, those situations. There's alternative, just like with Western medication. One antibiotic may not work and the other one works. Everybody's body
that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
right? So that's kind of how it works in a nutshell.
That's actually really helpful. And thank you for saying that too, because I thought I was crazy. I am one of those people who lavender does not work for me. It actually makes me a bit cuckoo. Like I can't think straight. I get like really weird when I smell like just lavender. Like if it's just lavender, not mixed with like other things. So thank you for just happening to mention that, because now I will look for things with cedarwood. Oh man. This is really helpful. I think when I remember hearing your story for the first time, I just remember thinking like, man, there are so many people out there that just don't know about what's possible. If there was something that you wish like your if there was something that you wish people knew better about oils, what do you think that would be? Or what message do you feel like you want to like broadcast to the world about that?
I feel like people need to be more educated on alternative holistic solutions, such as essential oils, right? I didn't know this until, much later in life, but the oils come from the earth. God put them here for a reason. doTERRA gets frankincense from Africa because it's indigenous from there. The soil, the climate, there's a reason why, right? And they don't add anything fake into their bottles of essential oils. There's no preservatives. There's no chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
We are hearing more and more every day, and it's been happening for years, that some of the foods that we buy from the store, some of the medications that come from the pharmaceutical companies, those things are what is making us and our animals sick, or we're having reactions, or there's even some deaths, because you don't know what you don't know about what your body's going to be allergic to, or it could be toxic. And so I wish I had known a lot sooner, in my life, and I've exposed, and my daughter's on here listening. She took her essential oils to Florida, so she's diffusing, and she has her protocols, but she's in her 20s. But I started using the oils, oh gosh, since 2016. So she was brought up, learning that there are alternatives, and I think it's important. Education is important. And one bottle of an oil, whether it's cedarwood or frankincense, can help both the humans and the animals. It's very important to know that. So.
Well, I know before we continue, I know we have some guests on. So if anyone has any questions that you guys want to ask Cindy, please throw it in the chat. And I know I have a couple more questions, but Cindy, where can people connect with you now? I know you mentioned you're doing virtual. So how do people reach out to you that are outside of the groups to connect with you, to maybe do a consultation, or,
Right. So my website, texasoillady.com, has my socials, but also on one page, there's, you can connect to get a 30-minute free consultation, whether it's for yourself or your animal. So I do calendar links, and so you can schedule sessions with me to do that. But I'm on Facebook, Texas Oil Lady business page, Instagram, slowly working on YouTube. It's on the project to do for 2024, right along with Pinterest. So that's another new.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
We saw something about that as well.
Pinterest is getting super popular, right along with YouTube, of housing your videos and or in Pinterest the recipes. So I'm putting there, like dog treat recipes, and I try to cook fresh toppings for my dog's food. Sweet potato, they think that stuff is like crack. I don't know how else to describe it. They want all the sweet potatoes. So I actually cook up a bunch of sweet potatoes once a week and put it with their food. And they love peas. And I did a little video one time. I put broccoli on their food. And there's a video I posted. I can't remember all the places. But I followed the trail where they pulled all the broccoli out of their bowls. They're like not having that broccoli. So peas are good. Broccoli's bad.
All right, we got a couple questions.
Oh, this is a good question. What's an oil to keep mosquitoes away, Miss Cindy?
doTERRA has something called Terrazyme, and it comes in an oil and also as a spray. You can spray it on you. It's very safe. It's not toxic like a big name brand at the grocery store that has an orange lid. Don't use that, because whatever you put on your skin absorbs into your bloodstream. And you don't want that on you. So Terrazyme is another good one. And peppermint can be pretty useful too if you're in a pinch.
Good to know. Another question from your daughter, Kaylin. Is there an oil you can use for sun protection? Oh, also a good question.
You got to be careful about which essential oils you use because some of them can be photosensitive. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so, and she does know that there's a new line at doTERRA for sun products. So they're sort of a few little essential oils mixed in with a carrier cream.
Ah,
yeah.
Oh, very cool.
That is cool.
All right, I got two
Another
more.
one, MJ Wilkins. Can I use oils to help train a new puppy? Oh, good question.
Puppies can be a little rambunctious or they're missing their mama. So it's emotional. So a lot of people don't realize that animals have emotions. They can be stressed, they can be anxious, they can be scared. A really good calming oil is lavender. And so just a drop on your finger and you just run it down their spine, it absorbs into their fur and into their skin, into the bloodstream, and it helps to calm them.
Wow.
Oh, very cool.
That's absurd. Well, hold on. We're going to, I also have a question I want to ask going into overtime. Any oil suggestions for congestion relief?
Funny you ask, because I've been puffing this stuff called Breathe. You can't hardly see it. Breeze's a good one. So's peppermint and eucalyptus, because we've got all kinds of stuff going on in the air. Diffuse it is the best way, is to diffuse. Again, it's doTERRA Breathe, or something such as similar to peppermint or eucalyptus would help.
Mm-hmm.
I love eucalyptus. Are there oils for pet allergies, particularly for the skin?
There are some common oils that you could put on, but you would have to dilute. But then again, we'd have to talk about their digestive system. A lot. So many animals have food allergies. And if you kind of have to think about what you're feeding them, and think about that before you can resolve all the skin issues. But yes, you can start with the skin with some of the oils. And again, it depends on if it's a cat. Cats are super sensitive. You can't use very many with cats. So.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And the size of the dog, how old they are. There's all kinds of factors, which hence consultation.
Yes. I was like, somebody get this woman on a Zoom immediately. We have all these questions. This has been so great, Cindy. I have some other questions in relationship to building your business. I mean, understand that networking has been a part of it, but I'm also seriously curious about what are some other strategies you've used to build as you've gone on. Now, I know that a lot of people want to hear the answer to that, and unfortunately, we ran out of time. So we're going to have to catch that in overtime. If you are not already a Patreon member of ours, please go into the description right now, become a member of Patreon, and then you can find us over there in just a few minutes. But please, if you found value in today's interview with Cindy, please go ahead and put a big V in the comment section and let her know how much value you brought to her, or how much value she brought to you, excuse me. Because that is really, really powerful when we know that we've helped other people, and that's all about what this community is about. So say that.
All right, guys. So if you are brand new, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and share this content with somebody who you think may get value. But until we see you guys next week, as always, remember, you deserve the good life. Say that.
Say that.
We'll see you guys soon.